35 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and today is Sunday the 14th of April. Welcome to my knit night. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer or a new viewer. I appreciate you guys so much. You would not believe, I feel like for the first time in forever I am in a community, and yeah, I'll talk about it a bit more later, but you guys just, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. You can find me on Instagram as The Lonely Knitter and on Ravelry as The Lonely Knitter 2, and yeah, my design's under Laura Robertson, though my name is Laura Bales. It's all a bit of a muddle, but if you're going through my Instagram, there's a link tree on there if you want to see anything. So, it's been a bit of a week. I have got quite a bit of knitting done, but no finished objects, which is feeling a little bit, I'm feeling a bit meh about, and actually, I've been really good. You'll be able to hear my washing machine in the background. Apologies. Yeah, it's the washing machine. Apologies. Yeah, I've been really good, and I've only worked on 2 projects this week. I'm sure I've forgotten to say something, because I'm sure there's... Oh, my name is Laura. I'm sure I said that. Oh, it's bad already. And I'm coming to you from the most easterly point of England in the UK. And I live here with my husband and our 2-year-old daughter. Most important bit. Right, so, no foes. No foes. We are foeless today, folks. However, I do have 2 whips, and I'll start with this one that I am working on right now, even though I'm not at the end of my row. And you know when you're a bit like, but I need to keep going, maybe I'll cut this little bit out. Yeah, I'm going to stop. If you're good, I'll stop. This is my Tegna, you may remember. So the Tegna has stalled a lot. I have a few fingering weight garments on the needles, and I still haven't finished, I know. Naughty, naughty, I know. I am a large woman, so I am normally knitting large, extra large, yeah, extra large to 2XL sort of sizes, depending on the pattern, because seriously, some of them really vary. So fingering weight takes a long time to go through. That is fine, because I get the most I can possibly get for my money, and sometimes I have not been able to buy very much. So I had 3 skeins of this Suffolk Socks Yarn Tart yarn. So Yarn Tart is the yarn label by from Suffolk Socks, and it's in the colourway Sweet Fried Tomato, 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. And there is a progress keeper in here. This is one my lovely friend Sharon sent to me, and yeah, that's where it was. So I carried on up. I've done quite a chunk, I think. Yeah, quite a chunk, and then split for the front and back. So I am now working up the back, and I've left all the rest of that on a bit of waste yarn. So I think there's quite a lot of work here this week, guys. It's living in my Gilly Makes bag. That is also my badge bag. I lost a couple of badges this week. They fell off. I found them before they went anywhere. Now I'm doing a quick scan to make sure I haven't lost any more. I found them before I feel like there was one down here, and now there isn't, but maybe I'm just missing it. But yeah. This is where all my badges live. See here, over here, I feel like there was one here and there isn't now. This is where all my badges live, and I need to get some of those locking pin backs so that they don't fall off, because they're really precious to me. And this is my Gilly Makes bag. Gilly Makes bags are fabulous. I have multiple, and this one is one that I really love. So Tegna is living in here. Whip number 2, and the only other whip that I worked on this week. It's a little bit of a sad situation, guys. Where are you? So I'm knitting this on Knit Pro Symphonies. this is where the needle tip used to be. It came off this afternoon, so this was I was trying to get this done as a finished object for today. The reason I have not is because my 4mm Knit Pro Symphony tip, it's an interchangeable set, so I can just unscrew that and find another tip, but it broke. I have broke a lot of these before. They are not very strong. I leant on it. It is my fault. Like, I shouldn't have leant on it, but I didn't mean to. It was in the bag and I just leant over and I just heard this little, and it just gone. I didn't even lean on it that bad. So yeah, I need to find another tip. But this is a design. So I have a few designs going on at the moment. I have Big Shawl design, the one that I've shown previously in pink and yellow. I still need to find the perfect name for that shawl. That I am knitting. I got the yarn support from my amazing friend Sam, who is Yarntopia online shop. I will link, and she's going to be making some kits with it. Well, I need some time to write that up. I am thinking Easter Monday. My husband is going to a away game football match, so he's going to be gone a big chunk of the day, and my mum is taking Ellie, so I'm going to have a big chunk of day to just sit down with my laptop, with my notebook, and just work through writing up this pattern exactly as I need to. So that has a date, but in the meantime I do have a few patterns in the works that have been on the go for a little while. So you may recognise this. A few weeks ago I showed a little shawlette that was knit in this pattern with a very different gauge, and now I have changed the gauge, changed the start over here just a little, and this is how it's going to be. It just needs to be finished off. I'm going to get a few more. Oh, I've lost some stitches as well, quite a few stitches, fix that later. I'm going to get a bit more width out of it. It is a 1 skein shawlette and its name is Winged, I think I want to say Winged Geillis. So if you watched last week, you'll know that I had quite an Outlander love going on. And I do love that show. I have watched multiple episodes, series of it before, but now I've sort of finished watching it all. I even went back and watched a bit more of series 1 because series 1 is the best. So yeah, watched a bit more of series 1, really loved it, and there was this bit where in the witch trials, spoilers if you've not watched Outlander and you're planning to soon, I'm going to talk a little bit about it, so I'm going to skip ahead. But in the witch trials there is a character called Geillis Duncan, and she is accused of turning into a winged creature. So yeah, I was really thinking about her, and I was thinking about what, like, wings, and I'd already had a name in mind for the pattern that was a wing pattern, a wing name, and I wasn't 100% sold on it. So yeah, this in this bag is my new shawlette design that is actually currently in testing, and I'm sort of testing it as well myself again. Yeah, and it's called Winged Geillis. So hopefully that one will be out with you guys in the next couple of weeks, maybe less. And that is living in my one and only stash enhancement from this week. It's a very low week for content here. I have not bought any yarn this week. I have been really good, though I am gonna buy some yarn. So the yarn diet is going strong so far. I did buy a skein of yarn, to be fair, but it was for a swap, and it was something that I already knew I was going to have to get and send out, so it wasn't for me, so yarn diet not broken. But I bought the skein that I sent off to swap from my lovely friend Mia of Brambles Me, and she sent me this little present. So if you haven't heard of Mia, Brambles Me is a fabulous online yarn, well, no, Brambles Me is Mia. She is a natural yarn dyer. She dyes with natural dyes, and her site is Brambles Me, and she's going to be vending out the Wool Monty and Perth, so I'm going to hopefully see her twice this year, and she is my really good friend. Her and me and Katie, Geordie Knits Katie, we're a little three. Call ourselves the Charlie's Angels. That is a joke, or at least in regards to this, it is a joke. So yeah, I had told Mia previously about how much I loved these bags that are dyed with some of her dyes and all speckledy, and I love this, and it was an idea that she had, I think, for sending out with her Mother's Day kits, Mia, am I right? And that's her logo down there. And so yeah, she had this idea and then wasn't 100% happy with how they turned out. I think she said this is one of the better ones, so I obviously don't know what they all look like. But her husband made a comment about how it looked like someone had just spilt Ribena all over them, and so of course Mia is a major perfectionist, and she was like, no, I'm a perfectionist, I'm not sending anything like that out into the world, and she did not. Well, I was like, you're crazy, they're amazing. When I ordered this skein for the swap, she put this in for me, and I was very grateful, and there was chocolates in there, and I ate them. Thank you, Mia. So yeah, that is living in there. Sorry, that is living in there, and as soon as this is finished, since I find another needle tip and rescue those drop stitches and finish this off, I will put another project in here because I really, really like it. I really like the feel of it, and it's just a really nice little pretty bag. So that is everything. That is literally everything. Oh my gosh, that is no FOs, that is 2 whips, and that is my stash enhancement. It has been a crazy week for me, but I don't really know where the time has gone. I'm I'm not even 12 minutes into the podcast, and I'm done. So, podcasts that I have watched this week are appalling. Again, my list is not, oh, I suppose this could be stash enhancement. I got a new notebook. It says Busy Bee. TK Maxx. Yeah, podcasts I have watched, now I can't remember. Okay, Geordie Knits, because I always watch Geordie Knits Katie, and she is fabulous. Sharon, SCR1TNO, I am about 3/4 of the way through. I just need a little bit more time without other people in that I can concentrate. The Hairy Sheep podcast, Emma and Rosie, the fabulous ladies of the Hairy Sheep podcast. Knitting Expat. Though it wasn't actually an episode, it was her Minis club, Minilicious club. Yeah, it's like a little explanation, and I'm always interested because Mina is amazing. The Corner of Craft, Hannah, I've watched her latest podcast. I know I'm going to be forgetting people. Skeinanigans, Melissa had an episode out, might have gone out late last night or early this morning. I watched it early this morning. Who else? I have definitely watched more than that. Aimee Florence, Stranded. I always watch the Stranded podcast on a Thursday, and this week was no exception. The girls in the Yarn Cafe, that Tristan and Christy, I have watched them this week. The Knit 3 Together girls, I have watched them this week. They are back 5 days ago. Wow, it did not feel like 5 days ago. Clogs in Africa, I finally got around to watching Iris's 3-part EYF vlogs. That was lovely, especially watching her haul at the end. And that might be about it, you know. I cannot even think. I watched that Crafty Dragon, which is Tristan, that she had a little bit about her Spellbound sweater. That was on YouTube. That was lovely, and I had to go and buy the pattern because it is amazing. I don't know when I'm going to do it because I need to add it to my massive queue, but I am going to. Did I talk about Morgan, Ramblin Needles? Morgan? I watched Morgan. Like, I'm sorry if I've missed anybody because I have had quite a few on in the background this week, and my brain has been all of a fuzz. Let's do a quick recap of this week because I'm still all of a fuzz, and it is now 10:03. It's bedtime. So Monday, worked late. Tuesday, worked today. I feel like I say that every time. Wednesday we had a bit of a house day. That's when I watched a lot of podcasts this week, or just had them on in the background while me and Ellie played and did things, went for a little walk and stuff like that. Thursday we got in our car, went over to my friend's house and bundled my friend and her toddler into our car, and we went to Jimmy's farm. It's Suffolk, because it's near Ipswich, and, or is it near Ipswich? Yeah, nearish, on the way. It's over the big bridge. You have to go over the big bridge. Is that Colchester side? I don't know. It's about an hour away. Jimmy's farm. Apparently he's famous because he's like been on loads of stuff with Jamie Oliver, and he's friends with Jamie Oliver. I don't know, but it is a very nice farm. It's quite a funny setup because, so you go and it's a farm, but there's other things. So it's not really a work, I mean it might be a working farm, but it doesn't come across to me with my toddler and my friend with her toddler as like a working farm. It's like a walk-in attraction. So you walk through and there is pens with different animals and like enclosures with different animals, and you walk around and look at them. And there's a sand pit with toys, and yeah, and some of the animals are things like crocodiles and meerkats. So not typical farm things. They had alpacas. Really funny because Ellie, she will have seen an alpaca before, I'm sure, but not anytime recently, and not long ago she learned what a camel was, and they had brown alpacas. We were quite a long way away and she pointed and she went, "Mummy, look, it's a camel!" And that was quite funny. You had to be there. So yeah, we walked around this place. They had this giant butterfly indoor enclosure thing, which was lovely and a little bit scary because I love butterflies. They're beautiful. I know they're not going to bite or sting me, but it is a flying bug. I haven't got an issue with birds. I haven't got an issue with flying things unless they are right there in my ear making a flappy noise and trying to land in my hair. I am a real wuss when it comes to things like wasps. I'm trying not to pass that on to Ellie. But yeah, so that was lovely. Yeah, so we were there all day and then drove back afterwards. Not much knitting done that day. In the evenings I was working on my Tegna, and then I cast on that winged Geillis near the end of the week. No, or was it on Wednesday? And then but I didn't really knit on it because I took it with me. I can't even remember. Oh my gosh, it's been a long week. So Friday we saw our friends. No, we didn't. Did something. We went out. Went to the post office, went to my nanny's house. My dad came round. Things like that, normal stuff. And then Saturday I worked. And I think that's when my week feels really short, even though it's not. Worked 7 till 3:30 on the Saturday. And that just takes away my weekend. I'm then knackered for the rest of the day because you're on your feet for that 8 hours or 8.5. And yeah, I come back and I'm just knackered, and then I don't really get anything else done that Saturday. And then Sunday seems to always go in a blur, and it's back on a Monday. But obviously I've worked this Saturday, so I don't work the next one, so swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I've got a really sore throat still. I can't seem to shift it. It keeps coming and going. Anyway, so Saturday afternoon I got home from work, and I had put a call out during the week to ask if anybody wanted to do a virtual knit night with me, because I don't have a knit night, and I always say this is my knit night, but I just sometimes think that it might be nice if I was actually talking to other people rather than just myself on a camera. It did make me really nervous. I had to gear myself up to put a post out because I was really, really scared and really sure that no one was going to join in. I was going to be left on my own looking a bit of an idiot, having to delete my post because I was embarrassed. Didn't happen. There's quite a lot of people message me and say that they would like to be in a virtual knit night with me, and we decided to do it at 4 PM on Saturday, so as soon as I was home from work. I went onto Zoom, I hosted a meeting, posted the ID to the groups that I'd set up on Instagram, and then they joined. There was, I think, 13 of us at max at one time, but a few people dropped out and came back, and then other people came in, so over the course of it, like, there was a little bit of change. It was supposed to be 40 minutes long, but obviously there was quite a few of us on there. When there was quite a few of us, it was harder to chat as easily, but it was lovely to see everybody. But because it was like our first meeting, I think we got given unlimited time. So what was going to be a 40-minute little knit night went on for 3 hours. At one point I had Ellie behind me, sitting on my shoulders, climbing on me, watching CBeebies on my phone next to me. She was downstairs with her dad, but she wanted to come up and see what was going on. She came up for a little while and then went back down after. But yeah, it was so nice, and thank you so much. If anyone who joined in the virtual knit night is watching today, thank you guys. You really made me feel like I'm not on my own, and that is a really, really big deal for me, because that is one of the things that I really struggle with, is feeling alone and lonely and on my own. Anyway, so we are planning to do that again in the future. I'm going to try and work out a way to do it with a few, like lots of little groups, rather than us all joining a big one, like maybe alternating people around into little groups so we all speak to each other at some point, but you know, mix and match. Just so that we can all chat a bit more, because when it went down towards the end, there was 4 of us. It was really easy to chat across everybody and know who was talking. So we want to all, like, I think most of us were pretty keen to keep on going, but at the same time, no one really wants to leave anyone out and go off into their own without everyone joining in. So we're going to find out a way that we can run that. And my amazing friend Sharon and I had, that's SCR1TNO, Sharon, had some chats beforehand about watching and just making sure it was a safe place while it was there. We both stayed till the end, so yeah, I think it was really nice for everybody. That was about it. Today we've been to the shoe shop for Ellie, went and had her feet measured, got her another pair of shoes. We have a Start Right factory near us, so she gets the proper shoes, she gets properly measured, but they have a big room out to the side that is all of previous seasons or overstock, or some of them are ones that are slightly imperfect. Today she got some that were absolutely perfect. They might have been last year's ones, maybe little pink trainers. So she's really happy. They have flowers on the whole way she was walking. The whole way we were going home, she was going, sparkle, flowers. So she was happy with her shoes. So yeah, that's about that. I suppose the other thing I want to talk about was the knit along we've got going on. Me and myself and Katie of the Geordie Knits podcast are running a joint knit along. It is a stranded colourwork knit along. It is called the hashtag strandintosummer, and it is going on mainly in our Facebook group. So Katie set up a Facebook group for the flax along, and when I was an admin back when it was flax along, and then we've now changed it all over to being knit along with Geordie Knits and the Lonely Knitter. That's us. And it's now the Stranded Summer, which is going from the 1st of April to the last day in June, and it is literally any stranded colourwork project, but it cannot have been cast on before the 1st of April, and it must be finished before the last day of June. And yeah, you can post in the Facebook group, and which is Knit Along with Geordie Knits and the Lonely Knitter, and I will be setting up a Ravelry thread at some point, and I think Katie will too. We need to talk more about it, because I know there are people that aren't on Facebook but are on Ravelry. I am coming up to nearly 400 followers on YouTube. That is amazing for me. I am baffled that like 380 odd people have pressed the subscribe button. If you fancy doing that, every time I get a subscribe, I literally do a happy dance. I'm like, yes, yay, and feel a little less on my own, 100%. Yeah, and I suppose another milestone, I was on Instagram earlier, just to keep an eye. I do keep an eye on how many Instagram followers I have, and I went over 1,000 today, which was nice. I did go up to 1,002 and then went back to 1,001. And then a little bit of me does wonder if that might be about some of the, I mean, it might just be Instagram clearing up bot accounts, but I actually lost 5 over the course of today and then had other people follow, and it went back up again. But I wondered if that might be something to do with what I've been posting about in my stories. So I'll add this on the end, I suppose. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about talking about this because it's all still going on right now, and yeah, so I hadn't really finished with it. But Madelinetosh, I don't have any of their yarn. It isn't readily available in any of my local yarn stores. I know there are shops around the UK that do sell it, but it's mainly America, isn't it? I think. Anyway, Madelinetosh, I have followed them for quite a while on Instagram, and I've always wanted their yarn. It has been a save up for will get one day yarn. When the inclusivity conversations began on Instagram, I mean, I'm sure they've always been going on, but when they came to a massive forefront and people really started to take notice and it started to reach everybody's feeds back in January, partway through January, Madelinetosh did make a very general post that was not very sensitive or very supportive, or it was just very bleh post about the racism and inclusivity conversation that was going on, and the diversity conversation. And it wasn't good enough really for a huge company that's nearly at 100,000 Instagram followers and however many customers. But they didn't feel like coming up with anything else, and nothing else seemed to come forward, and I hadn't really heard anything else from there since. Then they posted, and I'd seen Caroline Dick had on Instagram she'd done a post about one of their posts, and I went over and had a little look, and it is quite a hideous thing. They've done some Martin Luther King colourways, and they've done a collection, and they have named one of their colourways Inclusive, and it is white with like light brown all the way through to dark brown in there, and seemed quite funny that they're making money off these inclusive and inclusivity and MLK named colourways, but they haven't made any kind of proper statement or been a part of the conversation about inclusivity, and they're profiteering basically. They're profiting from the conversation that's been going on, and it's a dick move. So I commented on that post and said that I hoped that maybe they were going to be donating all the money that they were making from these colourways to charities that were going to help level the playing field, the racist playing field that we all live in. And they didn't reply to me. Woke up the next morning and Katie messaged me and was like, they've deleted all their comments. Went over and had a look, and yeah, they deleted and closed comments on that post. They have posted another post this evening. We'll see if that stays up. I commented on that post and I did actually get a reply from Madelinetosh. They're not apologising. They're sort of, basically what it looks like is they're saying, oh my gosh, we've made a massive error and now people are, actually calling us out on it, so maybe we better try and smooth it over and bury it all and gaslight everyone, and let's not listen to any of the BIPOC community that is trying to teach us. Let's not listen to anyone who's saying they think it's wrong. Let's just bury all that, and we're not doing that anymore. That was the wrong. We're not doing that. They haven't said sorry. They haven't said sorry for a lot of pain and that they've caused people, and just in general they've been a bit off. Really bad. So I've unfollowed. I have put another comment on this post. They did reply to me. It wasn't good enough. They still haven't apologised. I can't understand why no one would want to apologise and try to make steps to make it right. They are a massive, they have a massive customer base. They're a big company now. They can put the time and effort here into making this right if they really wanted to, and by the looks of it, they don't really want to. So I doubt anyone from Madelinetosh would ever be watching this, but if you are, fix it. Make an effort. You were a knob. fix it. Anyway, so that's moored me out a little bit this evening, and I am very lucky. I'm just moored out. That is my white privilege, because I'm just a bit like, are you joking? Ugh. Whereas there are people out there who are seriously hurt by stuff like this. This is hurting people. Anyway, this was a rambly 30 minutes where I didn't really talk about knitting. Let's hope it's better next week. Guys, I started podcasting on the 24th of April 2018. It's the 14th of April right now. So, you know, in 10 days, I'll have been podcasting for an entire year. So, not next week, but the next week will be my podcast anniversary episode. And hopefully it'll be better than this one. Hopefully there'll be things to talk about. And hopefully I'll have done show notes and it isn't as awful as this. So yeah, that's about it, I think. Gosh, done in half an hour. When has that ever happened, folks? Anyway, I'm off to bed because I'm knackered. Appalling episode this week, hasn't it? But I'm so sorry, folks. This has been awful. I'm really off my game. It's very late and I have no mojo and I'm absolutely knackered. I'm sure there's stuff I've forgotten to talk to you about. I don't even know, like I need, like if I had a remembrall right now, it would not help me because yes, I know I've forgotten stuff, but I do not know what the stuff that I have forgotten is. Anyway, I'll see you next week and let's all hope it's a bit more coherent. Thank you as always, guys, for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.